Osrc News at 7. Academic activities for third term kick off across public schools in Ondo State. Work commences on Akure Idore dualization after official flag off as residents crave project completion according to specification. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission confirms arrest of social media influencer Very Dark Man. From the foreign scene, George Simeon emerges winner of Romanian presidential election.
Good evening and welcome to the News at 7. I am Omoshiliola Adesoya Ajayi. Academic activities have resumed across public primary and secondary schools in Ondo State, marking the beginning of the third term of the 2024-2025 academic session. Osrc's Omorima Wiki visited some schools in Akure to monitor the level of compliance and preparedness. The report.
It's the first day of the third term across public schools in Ondo State, and as at 7:30 in the morning, pupils and students were seen making their way into classrooms as teaching and learning gradually resumed after the second term break. At St. Peter's Nursery and Primary School, St. Dominic's High School, Oyemekun Grammar School, Fuwashaye and others in Akure, the turnout of students was impressive, while teachers were observed already engaged learners with introductory lessons. The principal, St. Dominic's High School, Mrs. Tolulope Akinwumi, and principal, Oyemekun Grammar School, Adeniyi Olujide, expressed satisfaction with the early turnout and readiness of staff.
And like I saw them this morning, I could see the preparedness in them because their uniforms are clean, their coats are there neatly, and I believe that as the students are ready, the members of staff are ready.
Today the students will arrange their classes, then the class teacher will take attendance, and we are going to start with the revision of the last examination questions. Then by tomorrow, by the special grace of God, we'll be expecting more students to come to school. Then we are going to have effective teaching and learning. Then Wednesday we are going to have effective teaching and learning. The Thursday and Friday has been slated for our principal test. So that is the program for the first week. Then as from the second week, we are going to start working on the school expanded calendar. That is the program of the school as it has been outlined in our school expanded calendar.
Principal, Fuwashaye Girls Grammar School, Omobola Ojuge, Vice Principal, Administration, St. Louis Grammar School, Justina Oguniboye, and Proprietress Mommy's Place, Damilola Oshin, also commended the prompt resumption, emphasizing the importance of maximizing the limited weeks available for the third term before promotion examinations.
We have started maths and preschool tests, so it will last till Wednesday. Then we couldn't have our inter-sport last time. We wanted to, but we couldn't because of some logistics. So we'll be having the inter-sport next week Tuesday.
They should finish their studies. They should be attentive to the teachers. Take the time to do their assignments. They should make their parents proud because the parents pay for their education. And I'm sure they too will want to pride themselves in the fact that they have performed very well. So my advice is that they should face their studies and be serious in their academic work.
This term is examination term, so we don't have much than academics, pure academics, so that the children, the people, they be well prepared for their exams, so that they will be promoted. Moreover, the WAEC has started, The NECO is about to start, the joint exam, the SS2 exams. All these are the exams that is ahead of the students, and we, the teachers, are fully prepared.
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mrs. Folashade Adegoke, while monitoring the resumption, lauded Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa for his drive towards improving education in the 18 council areas.
The school authority and the students are ready for resumption for third term. Third term is a very crucial term in this academic session, 2024-2025 academic session, and they are prepared. You can see the students are ready for the principal test, and we have all the teachers resumed. At Fuashayi, all of them resumed. About 119 teachers were in post at the time we went there this morning. And we met with you, they are prepared for resumption for what we have seen today.
Students, including Ojo Oluwalonimi and Grace Adebayo, said they are fully prepared for the term. With the term officially underway, stakeholders are hopeful that this final lap of the academic session will be both productive and impactful for learners across the state. Omoyola Hungbiji, Osrc News.
And the West African Examination Council WAEC is taking a bold steps towards modernizing its examination system by proposing a shift from traditional pen and paper tests to computer-based examination. This initiative is designed to strengthen the integrity and credibility of its examinations while equipping students for a technological-driven future. Osrc's Abidemi Akirotoye reports as presented from our studio.
For the first time in its history, WAEC in Nigeria has proposed the introduction of computer-based West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates. The aim is to improve efficiency, minimize malpractice, and better cater for the needs of Nigerian students through the use of modern information and communication technology (ICT). The immediate past principal of Imekun Grammar School, Akure, Okewo Okunleye, described the policy as a commendable development, noting that it will promote independent thinking among candidates.
The last one they just introduced is this variation and individualized questions format, which means no candidate will attempt the same questions. I think we need to commend WAEC for this innovation, because it will promote individualism. It will enable the student to read ahead instead of the former idea where students will just be given same question papers. It allows prosing. You see, some students will not even, they've almost relaxed, they don't even read again. But with this new development, it will make the students to read ahead, because fervently they will know that they are not answering the same questions.
Similarly, the proprietress of Mommy's Place International School, Damina Laoshin, stressed the need for thorough planning to ensure the policy's success. She highlighted the digital divide between rural and urban areas as a key challenge that must be addressed.
However, we really need to look at other areas that may affect the implementation of such. When we look at the rural areas, I wouldn't know maybe that could play out there. Even the urban areas, I'm not sure if all schools have enough computers for all their children. So for example, if a school has about 200, 300.
According to education stakeholders, the adoption of computer-based examinations is expected to significantly reduce examination malpractice.
Variation and individualized format will discourage cheating in exam. Since I have different question paper, you have different question paper, there's no way I can cheat on your own. There's no way you can cheat on my own. This will eradicate exam malpractice in our society. You don't need to be told again. It has been the tradition for the past 3-4 years where students don't bother to read anymore because they believe that the answers are already there. But now that there is individualism, there is what we call variation and individualized question format, no candidate will answer, the candidates will never answer the same question. This will discourage what we call exam malpractice in the exam hall.
There will be that kind of supervision, including on when they're doing the exams and things like that. And especially if it's possible to view the face of whoever is writing the exam, it makes it really good. So in a way, I think it will do something about that. In a way. However, it seems as if people just know how to go around the stated policy of to do whatever they want to do. So maybe something has to be done in orientating people about the ills of exam malpractice as well.
However, some students currently writing their WAEC examination express themselves fully and could create time management difficulties.
This type of exam that we are doing now, we have enough time to express ourselves more on paper when we are writing. We have the opportunity to express ourselves more than on that of the book.
If we have to write our exam, it's not everybody that can use time, and it's not everybody that can use system. So,
administration of examinations in West Africa, one that promises higher standards and better preparation for the future. WAEC's move towards computer-based testing is not just a policy change, it is a step towards redefining the future of learning and assessment in the region.
Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde has carried out a cabinet reshuffle. A statement by his special advisor on media, Sulaiman Olariwaju, said the governor made the announcement in a letter signed by his chief of staff, Segun Ogunwoye, in Ibadan, the state capital. The reshuffle moved the Commissioner for Energy and Mineral Resources, Shehu Ashamu, to the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, while the current Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources, Abdul-Majid Mubotubola, will move to the Ministry of Public Works, Infrastructure and Transport. The Commissioner for Public Works, Dahoud Jangodori, has been moved to the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, while the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Sadiq Olabo, has been moved to the Ministry of Establishment and Training, and the current Commissioner for Establishment, Sheikh Malaiwola, has been asked to take charge of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. Makinde said the movements are with immediate effect, urging them to continue to discharge their duties with utmost loyalty and commitment to the states. Ekiti State High Court sitting in Ado-Ekiti has sentenced to death by hanging a 26-year-old man, David Isaiah, who kidnapped and killed a commercial sex worker, Comfort James, with herbicide. Isaiah was charged with conspiracy, kidnapping and murder, alongside his friend Savior Daniel, who died during the pendency of the court's trial. He was tried and convicted of 3 counts bordering on conspiracy, kidnapping and murder. While he was condemned to death for murder, the court sentenced him to life imprisonment for kidnapping and 21-year jail term for conspiracy. Delivering his judgment, Justice Olayeko Olawumura said the prosecution had proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant conspired with his late friend Savior Daniel to kidnap and murder Comfort James. And the Bauchi State Police Command has condemned the recent killings in Maso Village, Akameri local government area, describing the attack as utterly reprehensive and a serious threat to the peace and security of the state. Commissioner of Police Sani Olori Ali, who visited the affected community, expressed sorrow over the tragic loss of life. A statement by the command spokesman Ahmed Wakil revealed that the incident occurred on Sunday morning. According to Wakil, a combined team of professional hunters from Bihuri and Ghana districts, while on routine patrol, was ambushed by armed bandits. The ensuing confrontation resulted in several casualties on both sides, including members of the vigilante group and attackers. You're watching the news at 7 on Osrc television. We'll take a break now. When we come back, news continues. Please go. Glad to have you back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel at Osrc TV Ondo. Work has commenced on the realization of the Akure-Idomi Road, which was flagged off by Governor Loka Iratua on Wednesday, April 30. The project is believed to primarily to ease transportation, roading, and enhance business activities along the corridor. Blessing of the Pascal.
This dualization project therefore stands as a powerful testimony to the steadfast resolve of our administration to build an Ondo state where opportunities are not just promised but are readily accessible.
The first phase, covering 10 kilometers from the Arakale to Ukiaro Junction to kilometer 10 along the road, is now receiving attention of the contractor handling the project. At the project site, heavy machines including graders were seen in operation. For residents like Bimbade Fatula, an octogenarian who has lived and traded along the route for over 4 decades, the project is a long-awaited relief. She shared her experience of enduring the road's poor condition over the years, expressing appreciation for the government's intervention.
ó ṣe díẹ̀ sá ẹ̀mí sọnù gidi lọ́nà ẹ̀mí sọnù ní mọ́tò bá kọjá lọ máa gbé adágbọ́n ní ìbádúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọkọ náà máa gbé ẹ̀dá tí wọ́n wá abádúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ kò ṣe mo ti débí bẹ́ẹ̀ o ti bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ogójì ọdún tí mo ti débí mo ti ń tajà gan níbí o ti tó ogójì ọdún mo ti sọ owó bẹ́ẹ̀ o ti tó ogójì ọdún ìdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ gan iṣẹ́ tí bá ṣe o.
Once notorious for its deplorable state, the road is now undergoing transformation. Residents describe the project as a welcome development, recalling how the road's condition once caused frequent accidents and delay.
This construction is a developed project, and I want to thank the governor of the state, Honorable Aidatiwa Orimison, that when you want to commence, I want to make sure that he should complete the project, that it should not be an abandoned project.
If you double A báyìí, ó wà okay. Inú mi gan dùn àti mo rí pé wọ́n fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ double A. Wípé accident yà lè dínkù. Tó yà rí ibi tí mọ́tò ní pa mẹ́ta. Tó yẹ pé mọ́tò á rìnyàn mọ́lẹ̀. Nígbà míì tó yẹ pé gallop lásán wọ́n fẹ́ dodge. Ẹgbẹ́ ọlọ́kadà kọlù mọ́tò tí yẹn kú, but tó bá lè bá wa ṣe kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó wà òkè inú wa dùn.
Àmì báyìí ti ọjọ́ ti pẹ́ gan-an àti wípé accident oríṣiríṣi ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà yìí. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ wa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ayédàtiwa tó bá wa ṣe ọ̀nà yìí, àwọ̀ ṣe gan-an. Torí àtìgbà tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọ̀nà yìí báyìí àti ìwé accident ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́tún lọ́sì.
The dualization is a key part of the Ayédàtiwa administration's promise of infrastructural development. The road project is expected to ease transportation, reduce travel time, and improve the quality of life for residents. Meanwhile, stakeholders are calling on the government to ensure the timely completion of the project. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has confirmed the arrest of social media influencer Martin Osrc, popularly known as Very Dark Man, saying the arrest was carried out over multiple petitions submitted to the agency. The anti-graft agency made the confirmation through its spokesperson, Dele Iliwale. According to him, Very Dark Man was taken into custody following complaints from several petitioners on the allegation of cyber-stalking. The EFCC spokesman explained that the agency will release him when it meets the bail conditions and that it will take the case to court as soon as possible. And the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arrested social media content creator Mohammed Karib Sayed for allegedly abusing the Nigerian currency in a video posted online. According to a statement by the Commission posted on X, Sayed was apprehended by operatives of the Kaduna Zonal Directorate after he shared a video on his social media accounts openly daring EFCC officers to arrest him if they could. The statement said he was subsequently picked up in the Tundawada area of Kaduna State through surveillance and conveyed to the Kaduna Zonal Directorate of the Commission for interrogation. The EFCC stated Sayed will be charged to court upon conclusion of investigation. The right-wing nationalist candidate who is against providing military support for Ukraine and is skeptical about the EU has won a resounding victory in the first round of the presidential election in Romania. Judge Simeon came first with over 40% of the votes and will go into the runoff on May 18 as the clear favorite against the Liberal mayor of Paris. Nipso Dan narrowly beat Chris Telescope, candidate of the Darwin coalition, with just under 21% of the votes. 6 months ago, the presidential election in Romania ended in scandal and confusion. In Colombia's Tatacoa Desert, former Tom fossil hunter Cesar Perdomo has built a fossil museum with over 5,000 Neocenero finds. Self-taught and driven by passion, he preserves ancient creatures like Glyptodons and Terabirds. Cesar learned from visiting scientists who fled during conflict, but he carried on their work alone. UNESCO named Tatacoa a World Geological Heritage Site, but funding remains scarce. Despite the struggle, Cesar's La Tormenta Museum stands as a tribute to persistence and heritage. Aderoke Kolawole completes the story.
Cesar Perdomo's makeshift paleontological museum and the art of the Tatacoa Desert is a testament to its passion and dedication. Without funding, this 44-year-old farmer has collected more than 5,000 fossils from the Miocene area, when this was a vast tropical forest disconnected from North American and dominated by massive mammals, including 12 crocodiles and giant flightless pterobirds.
I'm self-taught, a farmer with a passion for fossils. Paleontology runs in my blood from a young age. Fossils are my life. I'm humbly building this small community-run farmers museum because you cannot forget where you come from.
Cesar gained his knowledge from Japanese and American paleontologists who visited in the 1980s but left due to the country's civil war. And he continued their work.
This is a Glyptodon, a giant armadillo. It's intact, tail, shell, skull, jaw, hands, and skin. I spent over 10 years figuring out how to move it safely. 2 years ago, I finally did. It's a slow process. It took 13 million years to form, so rushing it and ruining it in a day makes no sense.
In time, one paleontologist did return, and Jais Lee, a professor in Bogota, who now helps Cesar organize, catalog, and display his collections. One fossil is particularly caught his attention, altering the understanding of the region's history.
This is the first terror bird fossil found in the tropics. Until now, we had records in Argentina and North America, but no proof they lived here. It also helps us understand the ecosystems of 13 million years ago.
And prey like these, ancient giant sloth whistling and pardon was excavating.
There is little support for locals and researchers. We need backing from government, universities and the private sector, not just those seeking academic gain, but those committed to preserving this globally significant paleontological site.
For now, its future rests in the shoulders of passionate individuals like Caesar, who explains why he named this museum La Tormenta, or the storm.
Fossil hunting is a torment for me. I want to find everything, unearth it all, studied it, and kept here. Building this museum was also a torment. Fossils are my family, my children.
A lifelong connection to this land and its secret. Adirunke Kolawole, Osrc News.
A ballistic missile launched from Yemen has hit the perimeter of Israel's Ben Gurion International Airport, damaging a road and vehicle and causing air traffic to stop. The Israeli military confirmed its defense system failed to shoot down the hypersonic ballistic missile on Sunday morning despite several attempts to intercept it, adding that an investigation was underway. Israel's defense minister vowed retaliation as Netanyahu and security officials weighed their response. The attack has raised serious questions about gaps in Israel's multi-layered defense systems. Sunday Kolawole completes the story.
Whoa! Whoa!
An unprecedented scene in central Israel as a missile launched by the Houthis in Yemen hits Ben Gurion Airport. The Israeli military confirmed it failed to intercept the missile and is looking into how and why it was able to bypass the country's multi-layered air defense systems. The Houthis say that this attack was a success.
The missile force of the Yemeni Armed Forces carried out a military operation targeting Ben Gurion Airport using a hypersonic ballistic missile. The missile successfully hit its target.
Israeli authorities said the damage to the airport and the perimeter is minimal, despite a massive crater being formed when the missile hit the area.
You can see the scene right behind us here, a hole that opened up with a diameter of tens of meters and also tens of meters deep.
Israel's defense minister says the country will strike back as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the security chiefs consider a potential response. Sunday Kolawole, Osrc News.
And that concludes our package on the news at 7. But before we go, let's take a quick look at some of the major stories. Academic activities are started at all public primary and secondary schools across the state for 2024-2025 academic calendar as teachers and students express their readiness for a successful academic session. We also told you that work has commenced on Akure during road realization after its official flag off by Governor Loki Ayedatiwa, just as residents and commuters